Town of Wappinger Zoning Board of Appeals. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can we have a roll call?
Mr. Deltor?
Here.
Mr. Hernandez?
Here.
Mr. Donato?
Here.
Mr. Moss?
Here. We are missing one member tonight, so any decisions would need to be, if it's a tie vote, it would be a no. So we give any of the applicants an opportunity. If they want to push it to the next meeting when a full board will be here, they're allowed to. Next item, acceptance of the meeting minutes from October 28th, 2025. Has everyone read those? Motion?
Motion. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Public hearings. Appeal number 25-7858, interpretation. 33 Middlebush LLC, seeking an interpretation of section 240-107B2A of district in an R20-40 zoning district. The applicant is seeking an interpretation of the term contractor storage to define acceptable users, tenant or owner of the building space in compliance with the previously use variance for the property. The property is located at 33 Middlebush Road on 1.75 acres and is identified as tax grid number 6157-01-414840 in the town of Wappinger. Do we have a representative of this? There's no name on this. What's it? Oh, yeah. Have a motion to open the public hearing.
I'll motion it. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
I would just note, we actually have two applications pending, so do you have any objection to the public hearing applying to both applications?
My preference is the application on the interpretation be held and vote on it, and if we need the other hearing at that point in time, I may decide to adjourn that because all the members aren't here.
Okay.
Okay. If you could introduce yourself and then tell us what you need and what you're looking for here.
Good evening, and thank you all for being here. I want to thank the members of the Zoning Board of Appeals for being here, listening to this application, and ruling on it. And I want to thank all the members of the public that came out tonight. First,
Would you give us your name?
My name is Brian
Name and
Paz.
address.
I represent the applicant, 33 Middlebush LLC, and I'm of counsel to Jacobowitz and Associates law firm that represent the applicant.
Thank you.
And we are here on a public hearing for an interpretation. And what I did, because I need visual, pulled up the definition of contractor. And I assume the Merriam-Webster dictionary is pretty much as plain language as possible. And if I could approach and give everyone a copy of that definition. May I?
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
My fingers aren't working too well. It's a little colder than it's been lately.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, and at the top, the first definition says, "One that contracts or is a party to a contract." And then it goes on, such as an A, one that contracts to perform work or provide supplies. B is one that contracts to erect buildings. So the approval said contractor storage, and we would like the interpretation that effectively falls under 1A. 1B is fine, but we don't believe it should be limited to just contractors related to building or construction. As you all well know, zoning rules and regulations are in derogation of property owners' rights. So any rules should be interpreted so that property owners' rights are given the broadest definition possible.
So when this was last presented to us, it was indicated that, the reason you were coming in front of this board was to basically allow someone looking to purchase the building to use it, at least in part, as personal storage. Is that no longer the case?
Well, no, that's a contractor, somebody who contracts or is a party to a contract. That person, it's their building. They should be allowed to store in it whatever they want. The agreement here was that the property could only be divided into up to 3 units, which my client has followed that to a T. So those units are 1,200 to 2,000 approximately square feet, the 3 units. In terms of...
So is our argument that you're trying to make that anyone your client has a contract with is able to store whatever they want in the space?
What originally came to here was that, well, on some level, yes. The reality is, there was a concern, I think, that you didn't want this to be like a storage unit that is out there in public, that anybody and everybody can use. At least that's what I heard the last time we were here. And because these units are 1,200 to 2,000 square feet, most storage units that individual people are going to use are 100, 200 square feet max. So if somebody's going to rent one of these units, odds are it's going to be somebody who needs a substantial amount of storage that they can't do in the typical 10 by 10 or 15 by 15 storage unit. So we are asking this board to interpret contractors as people that enter into contracts, perform work, or provide supplies, and that those people can then be allowed to rent or use the property. When I came last time, there was someone who was interested in purchasing. We don't even know if that person at this point in time is still interested or not, quite honestly. But what we don't want to preclude is someone's ability, because it appears to be an area of interest, to store vehicles, boats, etc. Like I said, it's only divided into 3 units per your approval, and that's what we're asking the interpretation here, to allow that. And if someone owns the building, they can store in it their personal items.
I mean, I see a real issue with changing the definition of contractor in the town zoning. It seems like it could have far-reaching unknown issues if we do that. That being said, I personally am sympathetic to an owner of a building being able to store their personal property only, and then also rent out to contractors as per the original use variance. Rebecca, our attorney, put together a possible, I guess it would be an amendment to our original use variance, which I can read this. We would be basically updating the language in the original variance to read, a mixed use consisting of contractor storage for a maximum of 3 tenants, and then personal storage for the owner of the property only. The property is placed in a business entity. The personal storage use shall be for one member/shareholder. Would amending the text to say something similar to that be acceptable?
Only because here it says, and their family only. You get into families, you could have brother-in-laws, sister-in-laws, cousins, nephews, aunts.
Yeah, I wasn't getting into that section of it, yeah.
That was language that I had proposed you consider. So just to give by way of some,
Well, can we cut it off there?
yeah, that was just suggested based upon, just to give some background, while the code does not have in the definition section contractor storage, in the use table, and I have found that it has been in the code since 1999, it does state contractor's office, comma, storage and sale of construction materials, supplies, and equipment, including plumbing, electrical, and similar contractors' establishments, comma, provided that any outdoor storage is suitably screened, and it goes on to cross-reference. So I think the comment that the chairman made about changing the definition is because the code really talks about that the storage is related to construction materials, supplies, and equipment. So I think the board is reflecting that it's going to be, I think, a bit reluctant to expand it to just say somebody who contracts could use it solely for personal storage.
We also don't know what other sections of the code currently or in the future would reference the term contractor. Again, I don't think, I'm personally not interested in changing the definition, but, I would be interested in looking into amending the past use variance.
It's my opinion that since there's no definition of contractors, notwithstanding that it's mentioned in the table of uses, that's why we came here for an interpretation. And I don't think if you interpreted it today for this variance granted previously, that interpretation would be, would forestall the town from actually putting a definition of contractor in, and from then saying, in that case, my client's property would be grandfathered in based upon the prior approval, and if and when it changed, probably it might not be grandfathered any longer. We're not coming to you to try to change your code whatsoever. We're just looking for an interpretation of the approval that you gave.
Yeah, I mean, I would think interpreting that definition that way would have ramifications on the code. I don't know what they are. We would have to do a deep dive into when that term is used in the code. Are you opposed then to us amending the original variance with something similar to the text we had stated?
Well, we're certainly not opposed to you expanding the definition of what's going to be allowed at this property. Like I said previously, we were looking for the ability of my clients to rent the 3 separate units to individuals to put the type of equipment in that those individual, whether they be it private individuals or businesses, would look to store at this type of facility.
Okay, can you hold that thought for 1 minute,
Sure.
Rebecca? How does it work with subcontracting now? If a contractor leases it, can he sub out to rent to subcontractors?
That question in the first instance Barbara would have to render, but I don't
Because
know
he's
that
a
it would be a
contractor, he's
violation of
just a
the
sub.
use for the contractor who, say he rents 2 of the bays and decides he only needs 1, does a sublease or something of that nature, as long as the use remains the contractor storage. So what is being asked of the board is essentially to expand the definition, I view as expanding the definition of contractor storage that would allow a space to have the option of being only personal storage. I'm not sure that I agree with that analysis, which is why we had proposed running the second hearing with it, having a hearing on modifying the use variance, and it would make clear exactly the amount of the building that would be permitted for the contractor storage, not individual spaces, but that'd be up to 3 tenants, and then that personal storage, because that was a lesser intensive use. Because I respectfully disagree, because if you include a definition that expands it to that extent, what could occur is somebody could say, this is now precedent in the town until the town board addresses the issue. And that could take, I don't know, until they decide to deal with it. So I agree with your concerns about potential ramifications on other code issues.
Yeah, I'm personally not interested in changing the definition, but I would be interested in amending, the previous variance that we'd given for this, use variance we'd given for this property. I'm not sure the best way to come to an agreement on what that change would be. We had proposed what I read earlier. It sounds like you want to expand that further, is that based upon what you just said?
Certainly if possible.
We could
Now-
adjourn this and give you time to think about how you'd want to amend that.
So just to repeat, the language that kind of reflected some of the discussions. Oh. I was reading it for his benefit, so I'll wait.
Well, I'm just curious, Rebecca, if say, a general contractor rented it, and he's doing a job close by, and he's got a plumbing contractor, electrician contractor, a roofing contractor, or drywall contractor, and he says, well, you guys can all store your stuff here.
I believe we went through that with the original use application.
Okay,
that
okay.
They were not allowed to
Yeah, I'll have to look at
subcontract.
the original.
Yeah. I know that was discussed, and it was told,
Okay.
it was, indicated that they would not be doing
Because then
that,
it's
but
turning
obviously things
into,
changed.
then it's turning into a Route 9.
Yeah, I don't think any of us want to have mini storage, we don't,
Right.
traffic was
No.
always a concern on this
Not at
road.
all.
We don't want to create a precedent for more mini storage
Correct.
anywhere in the town.
I get that.
And we don't want to change definitions.
We have
So
enough.
I think that's kind of where we're at.
Could you do me a favor?
Yes.
Could you read what you had read previously so I can
I'm happy.
take it in?
It is a mixed use consisting of contractor storage for a maximum of 3 tenants and then personal storage for the owner of the property only. If the property is placed in a business entity, the personal storage use shall be for 1 member/shareholder.
Okay. My clients have indicated that that's acceptable to them, and if it's acceptable to the board, I think we're good here.
So the only thing is we didn't open the hearing on amending the variance because we hadn't advertised this. So I would recommend you can run them parallel, open that hearing. We'll incorporate all this testimony. And then if you see fit, obviously we have to hear from members of the public. I think 2 pieces of amending it is including that definition of contractor storage, just to avoid future confusion, and then the language I just read.
Okay, that's something you will write up and?
Yes.
Okay. If there's nothing else from you, then, I think we should open this to the public. I think it looks like there are some people here
Certainly.
for this application. So if anyone would like to come forward and speak for or against. Just please give us your name and address.
William Bostwick. I live on 24 Middle Bush Road, and I was here originally when you had the approval, and a couple things that transpired was we met the gentleman at the door, and after the meeting, he said, oh, don't worry about it. There's really not contractors. We're going to do it. We're going to do a special deal with Toyota, and they're going to use it for a special shop. And whatever, I forget the exact word to use, but it was something to do with Toyota. I mean, that's what stuck in my head. Our neighbors agree with that. And so suddenly, when he started building, lo and behold, Jimmy sold his speed shop to Toyota. Then at that time, the sign came up. So I think the original application, the sign for sale for the building. So I think what happened there, it kind of created the problem for him. So, but now, I'm concerned about, we all know that the school increased their parking lot substantially. They built a huge basketball court behind the shop that's on a knoll. And then they also spent all summer, or a good part of the summer, hauling dirt and stone and sand and made a basketball court. Not basketball, a baseball court. So it all runs down along that line, and we approved it, or you guys approved it, for the catch basins, the seepage pits, there's groundwater, and I'm concerned about the changes that we make of what are we going to do with the outside parking lot. We're changing contractors, we're changing personal use, so then we have cars that come in and get pressure washed, rain runs off oily cars, it gets down into the water, increases the water, and also possibly pollutes our water that we drink, So,
This
and
must
if
have been the
you-
planning board, right?
And if you go by,
Not the zoning board.
Yeah, so our board does have a limited review related only to zoning issues.
I'm just expressing what is.
The planning board would have reviewed the site
I'm just
plan. and-
expressing my
Yeah.
things that are dealing with a meeting. And,
Understandable.
Wappingers
Understandable.
Lake here, the junior high lake gets bigger and bigger every time something transpires. So a lot of, how do you break all that down? That's what I'm trying to understand. That's what I'm here for. Thank you.
Okay, and I'd just like to know, any changes to the site plan, if the current or future owner does change the site plan, that would need to go in front of the planning board again, correct?
And
Yeah.
who monitors that? You talk about subcontractors and contractors and owners and connections of family, and who follows that? Who knows what
The building department to the greatest extent possible.
Yeah, good luck. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Is there anyone else?
Yeah, Dave, I just wanted to clarify that point about the planning board, only because the gentleman said you guys, and I didn't want on the record someone thinking that we approved
I think
catch
he was looking
basins.
at you.
No, he was not looking at me. Good try, though, Don.
Yeah, no, the zoning board is a quasi-judicial body, and we have very limited review when it comes to these matters. In this case, it was really solely for the use variance on this site. Is there anyone else? If not, would we adjourn this public hearing, or? I guess what we're looking to approve is really related to the other application open, correct?
Yeah, so I would vote to open that public
So we would
hearing.
vote to set a new public hearing date for your other application.
No, we did a joint advertisement for both.
Oh, we did do a joint
So,
advertising.
yeah.
Okay, so would we open that now?
Yeah, I would, and just ask if all comments are incorporated.
Do we
so
have the
don't to
appeal number for
repeat.
that? It's not on the agenda.
It's incorporated in the description.
I'll second.
Yes.
Okay, so I will move to, yeah, so,
And you probably can identify it as, was the first one interpretation of
Yes.
contractor storage?
Yeah, and the second was amending the existing use variance. I know I had drafted up, I had revised the public hearing notice to address it, so.
Is that true? And then that,
yeah.
both. So it would incorporate
Yes,
this,
we'd incorporate that definition, and then we would, yeah.
incorporate this all
Yeah.
together.
Yes.
Okay, understood.
Yeah. So, do I have a motion to open the public hearing for appeal number 25-7858,
I'll move it.
use variance? Yeah?
I'll
Okay.
move it.
There was a
I'll second.
Okay.
Aye.
Just give us your name again for the record.
My name is Brian Paz, and I
Thank you.
represent the applicant, 33 Middle Bush Road LLC. And so as not to bore anyone, I'm not going to repeat what I already said, and I'd ask the board to just take that all into consideration in making their determination.
Okay. So we would be looking to, Rebecca will write up this formally, but we would be looking to basically certify a definition of the contractor's office per the memo that Rebecca had given us, and amend the previous use variance per the last read statement. Do I have a motion to grant or deny that variance?
Don't you need to at least close it?
Or do we need to
Oh,
close the
yes,
public
you
hearing?
can
Okay.
close both hearings with one
The
motion.
motion to close both public hearings?
I'll move it.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Do we need to go down the points, Rebecca? I mean, it's the criteria a little bit different for this, right?
No, it's, there's very little case law on amending use variances, so my intent is to write up the fact that as far as the facts for the first three factors, the board is bound by the decision that was made in 2016, and essentially we will do a kind of an addendum to the original resolution that I will have for you on the 25th.
Okay.
What I didn't mention is that none of the facts or determinations related to the prior have really changed, so.
Okay. So, do I have a motion to accept the amendment as stated?
I'll make a motion to accept the amendment as stated.
Second?
Second?
Let's do a roll call.
Mr. Delacorte?
Yes to accept, is that what we're going to do? Yes.
Mr. Hernandez?
Yes.
Mr. Donato?
Yes.
Mr. Ball?
Yes.
Thank you very
So
much.
Rebecca will formalize this.
Yes.
Write up the amendment, and it'll be issued to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time and attention. Thank you.
Yours too.
Okay, next item is a discussion. Appeal number 25-7865, area variance. Lisa and David Perantoni seeking an area variance of section 240-37 of district regulations in an R20 zoning district. With 20 feet to the side yard left property line is required, the applicant can provide 3 feet 1 inch for the construction of a 25-foot by 26-foot garage, thus requesting a variance of 16 feet 9 inches. Property is located at 12 Dana Place on .55 acres and is identified as tax grid number 6158-02-905653 in the town of Wappinger. We have a, if you could just give us your name and address.
Good evening. I'm Lisa David Perantoni, 12 Dana Place, Wappinger.
Okay. Can you just give us a brief outline of what you're looking for and why you need it?
To build an attached garage off the end of our house. Because of the angle of the house and angle of the property, the corner of the garage is very close to neighbor's yard. So that's where the variance comes in. There's also a outside staircase, the landing for that staircase would be very close as well.
Okay. The outside staircase is the closest element towards the property line, correct?
I believe so, yeah.
And the distance given is to the staircase or to the building?
I think it's from the corner of the landing to the
Okay.
to the property line.
I could be wrong, Dave, but it looks like the corner of the garage is closer, just from this quick glance that I'm seeing.
I don't know if I have
Everybody see it?
I think the corner of the garage is 3 foot 6 inches maybe, and the landing is maybe 3 foot 1 inch?
Sorry, I'm just seeing 3.6 on the corner, I guess.
Again, I just want to make sure we're accurate.
So if I may just ask a quick question, because we were looking at, originally you would put the application in, I think the staircase and everything was inside the garage? And then you amended the application to put it outside. The markings aren't clear whether the garage and the staircase, if the 3.1 is actually the landing of that staircase. Is there any way we could ask that you have your surveyor just clarify that and submit as soon as you can? The markings.
drawing had the landing.
It does, but the markings aren't clear that it actually is 3.1 to the landing. The platform and then the land actually slopes, so just to confirm, we'd like to
Yeah, I'm looking
ask
at
that.
this section. Yeah, I mean, I think that's, well, do you have a big copy of this? Do you have a large copy of this? Sorry, what's that? Oh, could you please speak into the microphone? Just because it's for the public.
The latest drawing blown up to the size
Okay.
of this one.
I mean, going off of this site plan, it looks like it's 3 foot 1,
Electronic copy.
right? I mean,
This line is towing towards the property line.
Yeah, but that's showing 3'1", no?
Look how it gets tighter and tighter, and they indicate here is 3.1, and that might be tighter.
And the stairwell is on the outside.
The vector could be totally wrong.
it would be helpful to have your architect or engineer confirm what the dimension is, just so that we know you're asking for the correct variance.
Sure.
You know, if it's off and we give you, if we were to give this to you and we give you a different number, then you're going to be back here again when you have the final survey done, you go to sell, or when you,
For your benefit.
yeah, it's in your interest to make sure the numbers are as accurate as humanly possible.
Okay.
Any other questions from members of the board?
Well, even like a drawing, just a shot of this particular, yeah, because this, I really can't read it. I apologize, but I can't.
So you would like to see a larger plan, like a...
Yeah, like a, it's,
Or even
Just
just
that
that
section.
area where we're encroaching on the property line.
Yeah.
Just that area.
yeah, like a zoom in.
Just a bubble, if you would, of that area. Because,
Different property. Yeah, that's Middle Bush.
no, because there's, it's pinching towards, right? And where they drew their indices of where the 3'1" is away from the platform. So we don't know if, as it continues to project back, if that landing is actually closer to the property line than 3'1". And if it is, you want to ask for that proper number. So, that's all.
It should be done before you publish. The number you publish is the number, we can go with a lesser variance, but we can't go with a greater variance.
Okay, I thought that was already detailed in there, I didn't realize.
No, that's for your protection.
Back here, the edge of that platform will actually be a little closer than 3.1, so we just want to confirm that number. You can have, instead of drawing it here and here, have them read it as exact placement, and that seems to be the closest to the property line.
Okay.
All right, so he has this on his machine, he could probably just do those numbers pretty easily. Okay? Timeframe or something? I would do it as soon as possible because we want to keep this moving along for you.
Yeah, I think we could get that within a week as long as the architect is available.
We'd be able to see it at the next meeting?
Well, I think we would like to schedule a site visit, right, which would be for, next meeting is the 25th, correct?
Yeah, the 22nd.
So we'd be doing a site meeting on the 22nd. You're the only one on the agenda at the moment, so it'll be at like around 9 o'clock.
We need to take into consideration the public hearing because I have to get it in the paper by next week.
Okay, so you tell us.
I have to get it in the Southern Dutchess News.
So if you could just confirm that dimension before next week.
I don't know if I can guarantee that, but we can try. I'll
Okay.
call him tomorrow and
Okay.
try to get a better copy.
Well, we could probably,
Just stay in contact with B, and, if it's, we can proceed with 3'1", but, we wouldn't be able to give you more than 3'1".
Okay. How do you want me to get that information back?
Just bring a
Well,
picture.
Drop it off at the
the
planning?
quickest way is probably emailing it and following up with our copy. So at least this way they know what
Yeah.
so we could schedule a site visit, and if they get,
Yeah.
it's in your best interest to get back to her.
Site visit
That's fair.
pending information, you
Right.
get the information.
Yeah. So for the site visit, we would need to see the extents of the garage laid out on the lawn, as well as the location of the property line. So marked with tape, flags, whatever is visible.
And the stairwell, of
And
course,
the
because that's the
And
question,
the
right?
landing, right?
Where's the
So it should
stairwell?
be the corners of the garage and, the stairwell. All that should be staked out on the lawn.
All right.
And are you able to mark the property line?
I'd have to look at the map. We have some markings. I believe it's just a straight line from the marking in the back of the yards. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because they're so close, it's very important, for your sake.
Okay, no, I get it.
Okay, if there's no other questions, we will set a public hearing for November 25th, 7 o'clock. Well, no, the public hearing is at 7 o'clock. Yeah,
Thanksgiving.
yeah, the site meetings.
Oh, I'm exhausted.
Said we'll set a public hearing for the 25th.
I've seen that before. I know what it is. I've seen it in the mirror.
22nd would be the
22nd, we'll do the site visit.
site visit at 9 a.m.
Yeah. Yeah. Do those times work for you? I know it's a kind of a holiday week, that week.
Second. You don't have to be there, by the way? No.
No,
For the
To the site meeting, to the site visit on Saturday.
Site visit, I don't have to be there?
You don't have to.
As long as the stakes are there.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, if you mark it all out, you don't have to be there.
It's helpful if.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
We would like you to be there. Good night, folks.
Good night.
If there's nothing else, do I have a motion to close the meeting?
I'll move it.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.